as per the definition, actually the transmitter, it takes the messages, it encodes the data or encodes or converts into a proper appropriate signal. There are two things here. One is uplink and second one is downlink. Uplink is nothing but the data or signal sent from one workstation to the satellite. So what is laser transmission? So look at the diagram here. This is the diagram. It indicates the laser communication technology. Dear students, welcome to Computer Science classes. I am Ravi Kumar Kyar, lecturer in Computer Science, Vidhyaashram PU College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Students, let us start our discussion with respect to networking concepts. And in this session, we are going to talk about unguided medium. So, in our previous session, we have covered the topic guided medium. Under that, we have discussed about twisted pair cable as well as coaxial cable. Now, let us see what is unguided medium. So, here unguided medium, the first definition is radio waves. Actually, if you look at definition of guided and unguided medium, and here in guided medium, there is a direct physical connectivity from one to another computer in a network. But in unguided medium, the two network devices or peripherals are connecting to each other through different technologies, and there is no direct physical connectivity between two computers or two peripherals or communication devices. So that is unguided medium. So under that we have different technologies. So let us see. First one is radio wave. So this is radio wave communication. Now look at the example. Now if you look at the diagram here, we can make out that here there is a tower, and through tower the signals are passing over. And similarly, this is another tower where there is a base station. It is going to receive the signals from the tower. So this is how the radio signal works. Now let us see the definition of this. Here the transmission making use of radio frequency is called radio wave transmission. It mainly consists of two parts. So here in radio wave technology, we are using radio signals for a radio frequency for our data or voice communication. That is radio wave communication. And here there are two parts in any of the radio wave communication. One is transmitter and one is receiver. So here the transmitter takes the message and encodes it onto a sine wave. The receiver decodes the messages. But both transmitter and receiver use the antenna to transmit and capture the radio signals. And here if you look into that, one is relay node, one is base station. Here there are two devices, one is called transmitter and one is receiver. So as per the definition, actually the transmitter, it takes the messages, it encodes the data or encodes or converts into a proper appropriate signal. So this is a transmitter, and receiver, at the receiver end, it decodes the signal what it has been encoded. So here there are two, one is encoding and one is decoding. So here transmitter, it encodes the data, and here receiver, it decodes the data from the received from the transmitter. So this is radio wave communication. There are two parts. One is transmitter and one is receiver, and here we are using radio frequency. So this is radio wave technology, one of the unguided medium. Now in the next slide, let us see what advantage of this. It offers mobility. What is the meaning of mobility? So here the two network devices or two computers or any network communication devices should not be stationary, or it need not to be sticked on to, need not to be in the fixed location. So it can be movable, that is called mobile. So it is cheaper than digging for putting cables. Normally when you talk about a guided medium, where we have seen the coaxial cable and twisted pair cable, and if you want to fix, so it requires a lot of procedures or paperwork and so many permissions from the concerned government departments. And normally what we have seen, so they have to dig the ground to lay the different types of coaxial cables. So those things can be avoided here in wireless medium, or this advantage of radio wave communication, and it offers freedom from acquisition and is required for putting cable. That's what I have told you just now. See, if you want to lay down a cable, in guided medium, and to put a cable or to lay down a cable, and it is necessary for a concerned person, a concerned department, to take a permission from government side and different departments of the government. So those paperwork and procedures are less as compared to, it is less in radio wave technology. That is the advantage of radio wave technology. Now in the next slide, look at disadvantage. And what is the disadvantage of radio wave? Here it is insecure communication. And what is the meaning of insecure? And there is no guarantee that, or there are chances of a deviation or crosstalk. So many problems will be there. That is why it is insecure. So here the security point is very less here. Like radio wave signals are easily damaged by rain, thunder, and storm. So this is the common problem with respect to the season. So if it is a rainy season or maybe a thunder or storm, chances of losing the signal or damaging the signal, so that it is going to affect our communication. So in these conditions, it is very difficult to have effective communication between two communication devices in a network. So this is the drawback of radio wave technology. Now this is what you can see. This is called the signals, or we say sine wave. This is how the signals are passing over a transmission medium. Next one is another type of technology, that is satellite communication. So what is satellite communication? So here the transmitting signal from Earth station to the satellite is called uplink, and receiving a signal from the satellite is called a downlink. And satellite receives the signal, amplifies them, and sends it to the Earth station. So this is how the satellite communication takes place. Here, look at the diagram here. So this is the satellite, and this is Earth station, and it is second Earth station. So here, whatever the signal, the data, in terms of data, we are sending from one location, from one station, and we are sending to the satellite, and the satellite is going to, which amplifies the signal sent from one Earth station, and again send it back to the second Earth station. So this is called downlink, and this is called uplink. So here, this is how the communication takes place in this technology, that is a satellite communication. So there are two things here. One is uplink and second one is downlink. Uplink is nothing but the data or signal sent from one workstation to the satellite, and satellite in turn, satellite receives those signals and amplifies this data or signal and send it back to another station. So this is how the communication takes place in satellite communication. Now let us see what is the advantage of this. So here the large area can be covered. So this is one of the advantage of the satellite communication. So we can cover large area for communication. Next, putting and maintaining cables across the city will be difficult. So satellite communication is the solution. So suppose in guided medium, as I told you, so this is, we need to lay down a cable, and suppose if there is a communication is, if necessary to have more number of cables to be laid down, then it would be a complex thing. So it is that too within a city limit and within a particular location. So laying down a cable is a very difficult task. So to overcome the drawback, we can have satellite communication. It is the best solution to avoid digging the ground and other commercial or paperwork permission from the different government departments. See, this is the advantage of this satellite communication. Next one is useful in sparsely a lightly populated area. So it is very advantageous. Use in populated area means very dense area where it is very difficult for them to lay down a cable for communication, for guided medium. There we are using this type of communication, and most of you have seen maybe we are using different type of dish system. So this is satellite communication. Now in the next slide, what's the drawback of this? The limitations. So here installation is difficult, means the configuration installation is very difficult and very expensive due to high investment. So only with respect to the cost, it is very costly, and that is one of the drawback, as well as installation or nothing but a configuration of a devices is difficult task. See, this is a drawback of satellite communication. Now in the next slide, another type of unguided medium, that is infrared transmission. So look at the diagram here. These are all, if you look at the diagram, we can make out that we have different communication devices, and all these devices will communicate through infrared rays, infrared communication. So here in this type of transmission, it uses infrared light to send the data. So here we are using infrared light to send the data. It cannot penetrate through the walls. So that is one of the drawback of this. It cannot penetrate through the walls. Next one is the communication through short distance wireless signal. So its communication takes place through a short distance through wireless signal. So another wireless technology by using infrared transmission, and it uses infrared light, and we are using it for a short distance communication. Now it is a secure communication, and generally we are using in laptops. So this is another technology for communication in computer network, that is infrared transmission. Now next one is laser transmission. So what is laser transmission? So look at the diagram here. This is the diagram. It indicates the laser communication technology. So here, direct line of sight transmission. So you know what is a laser? Laser light, and it is a direct line of sight transmission and unidirectional transmission. So whatever the data I go and send, it goes directly in the unidirectional, means only one direction. So that is the meaning of a direct line of sight transmission. And high speed than microwave. The speed is better as compared to microwave, and it uses laser transmitter and photosensitive receiver at each end. So as we have seen, transmitter and receiver in radio technology, here also there are two different terms or devices. One is called transmitter, second one is receiver. And here both the devices will be having these two parts, that is laser transmitter as well as receiver. It is similar to, as we have seen in radio technology, transmitter and receiver. So here we are using transmitter as well as photosensitive receiver at each end for communication. So this is laser transmission. Now what is the drawback of this? So here, damaged by weather conditions. So one of the drawback is that, with respect to weather condition, it is going to damage the signal, and it cannot travel through rain and thick fog. So if the weather condition is too bad, so in that condition, it is not advisable to have this type of communication. So we may not have effective communication. This is about laser communication. Dear student, in this session, we have discussed about the transmission medium, that is unguided medium, where we have covered the radio wave technology, infrared technologies, satellite communication, and laser technologies for communication. Now let us continue our discussion in my next session. Thank you so much.